right, then welcome back here on Prime Morning. If you just joined us here on the show, a very good morning to you, and I hope you're doing well this morning. We're getting into Women in Business segment this morning. Before we get into that, let's once again remind you that we've got special giftings we're giving you for this Valentine's Day celebration. Now, if you and your partner have been together for a couple of months, weeks, years, you're looking forward to an amazing celebration of this year's Valentine, then there's a reason for you to be a part of the Joy Prime Valentine promotion. Now, all you need to do is to make sure that you take a picture of yourself and your partner, and then you send it to us. Now, let it be just creative, romantic, creative, different, innovative, wherever you want to take the picture, fine. But make sure that you're sending a picture that what we see will go like, wow, this is beautiful, this is nice, this is that. That's all you need to do. And once you're able to send that to us, we're good to go. Now, we've got some of the entries coming through, and they look good, all right? So most of you out there, I can confidently say you're getting closer and closer to winning the ultimate prize. Yes. Some of your pictures look really good. But once again, we'd like to say a very big thank you to our sponsor. But don't forget that the most photogenic couple is sponsored by Dodi World, powered by Volta Hotel in Akosombo. They say dream, explore, and discover. That's the most photogenic couple, and it's sponsored once again by Dodi World. Now, you need to be there. You need to be at Volta Hotel in Akosombo. You can never travel for a weekend in Akosombo without being at Volta Hotel. That's the place to be. Now, the environment, the food, the music, everything over there is like paradise, and you want to be part of that beautiful, beautiful experience, right? So make sure that you go through and have a good time. Now, Maati Spa is also making sure that you get yourself a service of unique pleasure. And when I mean unique pleasure, I mean an ultimate enjoyment for, experience. Now, don't forget that you can actually book your service and go there and get all your massage. If you've got problems with your body, you're not feeling too well, you need that stimulation to make sure that your body comes back to a normal shape, you need to be at Maati Spa. Now, everything that has to do with your mind, your body, your soul, they will take care of you once you get there. So make your way there and enjoy the very best of service at Maati Spa. Now, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel is also a golden beach hotel, and it's uniquely golden and traditionally Ghanaian, and it's the place you want to be if you want to spend some quality time. Weekend stay here in Accra is the place that you need to be. Those of you out there who have been there, you've seen it, you experienced it, you love it, but of course, we're making sure that our winners get to spend some time over there. So all you need to do is to just send your pictures to us and go on our social media page and tell your friends about it. Let them like and comment, and you're good to go. That weekend stay could be yours, all right? So it's pretty simple. We're grateful to Maati Spa, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. We're grateful to Dodi World, Voto Hotel in Akosombo as well. We're grateful to you. Easy Grab is making sure that this Valentine's Day becomes special for that special person in your life. Now, we're not taking the boxes and the singlets and all of those things again. And the guys, enough of the chocolates and all of those. A guy will buy just one chocolate like this, and then you go and sit in a woman's house and say, I have come with Valentine chocolates. We are not doing that thing this year. Go to Easy Grab, tell them that you have a chocolate, but you want to add something else to it. So what can they do for you? And trust me, they're going to make sure that your partner, especially if your partner is not too sure about accepting you or not, those of you who you don't know where you belong, whether they're accepting you or not, Easy Grab can do the magic for you. Take it to her and see the difference. Yeah. Go to Easy Grab, tell them to give you a hamper and take you to that woman over there and say, this is for your Valentine's Day. And see if she will not say that, you know what, I was not too sure about you, but now I'm sure. You know what I mean? So yeah, Easy Grab is making it happen. Now you can actually get your packages delivered to you. You can also make your request on 055-40-82511. 055-40-82511. You can also WhatsApp them on the same number, and they're going to take care of you. It's a Valentine's season, and they have a promotion ongoing. So you can actually, talk to them. And something that you might be buying for maybe 200 cedis, you might just do it for 150 cedis with regards to, your hampers. And this is just a Valentine's season promotion. So please make sure you go there and grab that opportunity right now and enjoy the very best of it. Yes. Now, away from that, let's talk about our women in business. And my guest has been in the studio. She's been sitting patiently and waiting for this conversation with an increasing number of well-known organizations like Vodafone, Ghana, Airtel Tigo, IBM, General Motors, and international appointing female CEOs. The trend towards women in leadership positions seems to be on the rise. In fact, if you care to know, there are more than enough women actually running Fortune's 500 businesses today than at any point in the 63-year history of that company, Fortune 500. Now, however, when you put into context, that's still only about 6.4% leading the companies doing that. And so we still have some more to do if we want to make sure that women are getting on that, pedestal. And also with recent high-profile stories of female entrepreneurs, we can only also imagine that women will be actually doing in 10 fortunes of businesses. And today we actually have a conversation that would put the number that we've been talking about to maybe preferably 6.5 or 6, and we're putting that into perspective right now. We've got in the studio here a very fantastic woman who has been doing so well for herself. She actually quit a job in the banking sector to get to this platform where she is right now, and she's been doing incredibly well for the past 20 years, and she's here with me in the studio. Imagine spending about 10 years in the banking sector and making the bold decision to say that, you know what, enough of it. Now I want to be on my own. The risk involved, the decision-making time, family not too sure about what you're trying to do, and friends calling you and you discussing your intentions with them, and some even telling you that I have tried and was never successful. Well, she dared herself and, beyond every other contemplations and, odd times, she's been able to do so well for herself. And she's here with us in the studio. Please help me welcome my guest for Women in Business today, the one and only Mrs. Boahima Intim Danchi. She's my guest in the studio. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So I think I was just, being a bit stubborn. So I decided to just, go and see how much of fun you've been having the past few days on social media. And you've got tons of pictures, having an incredible time.
Life is short.
I know.
Yeah.
How often do you do that, though? I saw friends and family around you. You take pictures, you have fun.
I'm not a very social person, actually.
Okay.
I like to keep to myself quite a bit. But once in a while, I let my head
You let
down.
it go.
Yes.
And so when was the last time you had real fun?
I think just this Saturday. A very good friend of mine was naming his baby, so we went, and it was good. I mean, having positive, good people around you is fun. Yeah. So that's my kind of fun, having a good life. I
see.
Yeah.
And I'm sure one way or the other, it adds up to the ultimate experience of you coming back after a weekend like that and making sure that you're delivering on the job as well. Does it sometimes help?
It really does help. I mean, the week can be very hectic, and you just sometimes need to stop and breathe and, rejuvenate and get yourself ready for the next week. Otherwise, you wear yourself out. Yeah. So the stopping and breathing in and enjoying some good moments helps you to get prepared for the week ahead. So it's important.
Your story is a very interesting one. I don't know for how many people would, make that decision and say that, it's been 10 years. I've been in this space. I think there's something out there I need to do for myself. And it's been 20 years. You're still doing this and you're doing good for yourself. Let's talk about your story. How does this all begin for you?
I think it doesn't begin at a point where you decide to leave. Okay. I mean, it starts way back. I mean, right from university, in business school, I've always done something. I've always loved doing things for myself, making money. I love money.
I like that, making money.
So it started way back in business school. And then when I was in formal employment, I still would do something on the side. I mean.
Oh, so it was not just a banking thing?
No.
You were still having things you were doing on the side?
Definitely. I mean, I want money. The 9 to 5 money the 9 to 5 won't get you, to the point you need to get to. And I always felt that as a young person, I shouldn't be sleeping when I finish my formal work.
Yeah.
Or when I take my leave. It shouldn't be to do nothing. You know, so you can always find time within your time to do things that would, you know, help you.
But not to catch you, in your case, you found yourself in a space where it's very demanding. I mean, you wake up very in the morning, your bankers will close maybe around 5 p.m., 6 p.m.
Yeah.
You still have time to do other things?
Oh, how many hours do you sleep?
So you've had sleepless nights
for
too.
me, anything that is important for you and is priority for you, you make time. So if something is really important, you make time. So I made time.
So walk us through it. You close at 5 p.m.
Yes.
Or maybe let me know the time you close. And then what? What was the basic thing you were doing?
I think the fundamental thing we need to understand is that an entrepreneur running a business doesn't always have to have your presence.
Yeah.
You can always put something together that requires your remote supervision to get done. When I was in the bank, I set up the first, it was one of the first in Accra. It was an after school play center called the Nanny's Fun House on the Spintex Road.
Okay.
It was very popular. I mean, everybody would bring their children there after work, and I was still working in the bank, you know. But for me, the problem of where to put my children when I was at work, because it required me being away for so long hours, put me in a business mode. And I decided I would set up something where my children can go, and I can also make money off other parents like me. Yeah. You know, so it was very popular. I mean, everybody would bring their children after school, do their homework, after play games, parties, and so on. And it was running when I was still in the bank. So I would close and then go and check up on them, or be there during the weekends when I don't have work, you know. But at a point I had to, you know, let it go.
Let it go.
Yes.
Let it go. Well, maybe we should look at why you decided to let it go, because this is something that you had done, you had passion for it. Yeah. You were even leaving your office, and instead of going home, you still come back there and make sure things are, and then you just let it go.
Again, I'm sure it's cliche now. Human resource is always a challenge.
Oh boy!
In this part of town, I mean, and the kind of business it was, it required that people that are asked to take care of the children actually do so. Yeah. I mean, I would have cameras in every space in the place, but you will still find people that are assigned to take care of the children go to hide somewhere and sleep and still be paid to do their job. So there was an accident that happened with one child. For 3 days, the child won't speak because apparently he fell and hit his head on something, and nobody claimed they knew what happened. And it was quite a challenge. The only thing that saved me was the mother of the boy was my colleague in secondary school. So they were very patient with me. Eventually, he got better, he got well, you know, but it was an alarm for me that if I'm not going to be there, I can't be there, then I'm not going to be able to put these children at risk. So it was fundamental. It was a profitable business. It was fun. It was doing well. But I had to take a decision to say, I mean, I'm not going to be able to risk any legal issues, you know, that will come up. It could kill the business forever. It could dent integrity and all of that. So I had to give everything away to somebody who was starting a school. And then
to use the premises for that.
Yes, the premises.
So the person is still using the same name, or
no? The premises eventually turned into a hospital. Somebody bought it and turned it into a hospital.
And then you said you're not going to give up. You're still going to move on to another thing.
Yes.
Now, before we get to moving on from there, let's talk about and maybe it's something that almost everybody say.
Yeah.
Working full time from 5 to 8, 5 to 6, whatever it is, does not pay or does not make me that enough money. But this is more or less like you having almost all your days spent in that business. I mean, depending on which business you're talking about, but the back end hole. And still they don't make money out of it, and people still have to be looking elsewhere for more money. Why does it always happen like that?
That you're not paid enough?
Yeah, that we're not seem to be satisfied with the money we're making. They were making at a certain point, at a certain place.
Working for somebody, I mean, is always a salary. So they pay you what will leave them enough for profit. So if you can get into a space where you are not just getting a salary, but you're also sharing in the profits, it's always better.
Thing.
Exactly. So that's the motivation to want to do something for yourself, because then you are looking beyond just a salary to sharing in what the company is actually making in terms of profit. So, I mean, you could be in a place where you are being paid well enough. I'm sure some businesses and organizations pay very well, and you don't need that extra income.
Want to.
I think beyond that, it's also the intrinsic motivation, I mean, to want to do something or to feel that need to create something and own something. So at a point, it goes beyond just money.
Okay.
It also becomes, what have I been able to create? What is my legacy? What am I leaving behind?
Yeah.
You know, maybe sometimes even transgenerational for my children. Where you work is not for you.
Yeah.
When you are done, you go on leave, you retire, and then you take your benefits. And your children have to do whatever they have to do. But if you're also able to establish something, it gives them an edge and a place to start. So sometimes it goes beyond just the money.
And in your case, was the money really the problem? Or you felt like there's something that has been innate? I think there's time for me to go for this.
I've always wanted to do something for myself.
So it wasn't necessarily because the money was.
The money was part. I wanted to be able to get up and say, I want to buy a car and walk into a showroom and buy a car.
Yeah.
I didn't want the restriction. No. You know, so that was a motivation. But I think beyond that, it has always been there. I saw my mother do everything as a child. I mean, she was a teacher, but we would sell everything and anything, you know. And that for me, I think, stuck in my mind that there's always some joy in being able to make something to benefit not just you. I mean, growing up, I mean, it doesn't happen these days a lot, but growing up, my house was filled with everybody, cousins from everywhere that they were taking care of.
There's a larger responsibility.
Exactly. So it's not just about your children. It's also the larger community and what you can do and how you can support other people. You need the support, the funds to do that.
Yeah.
So that also pushes me to do what I do, because I know when it comes to the crunch, I can step up and help. And that gives you some satisfaction that money, you know, cannot buy.
Let's talk about your case of moving on from where you were. At what point did you decide that, you know what, I'm going to walk into this banking hall, and if I leave this banking hall, I'm never coming back again?
I think I got to a point when waking up in the morning and going to work became a drag.
This waking up thing.
Yes. And then also I was starting something that I knew if I am not there, it's going to struggle. There always comes that point where you need to make a decision. You know, sometimes...
And that's the major issue.
Yes,
that is
because
the difficulty for many others who want to be in your space.
The comfort of something coming in every month, you know, it's very comfortable.
Yeah.
And then also, anytime I wanted to leave, I was waiting for bonus, which will be paid in March. And by the time March comes, I've already done targets for the year. And I said, well, let me just finish. And then December comes, you know, so it gets to a point where it has to be a decision that you make and say, I'm ready to go through the hassle for a while. And then hopefully I pick up. It's not an easy decision to make. And I won't even
most
say...
young people feel the test.
Exactly. I won't even say when you come out, it's very comfortable. I mean, it's tough. When you get to a point and you realize that no funds have come in, and you have to still keep pushing and keep making it work. It's not easy, but it's doable. It's doable.
Let's talk about your startup.
Yeah.
So you moved and now you've decided that this is what I want to do. I mean, right from the onset, this is something that has been part of you. So you had ways you were going to maneuver yourself in all of that. Funding, did it become a problem? Did you have to now start thinking about funding? How did you begin?
And because I had it in mind, I was going to go at a point. I built resources towards that.
Okay, so you didn't just wake up and said, oh,
no,
let me just do this.
No, you have to plan towards that. I think it's very foolhardy to just jump without a backup plan of some sort. So I had planned that I was going to go. So I had started building up resources for that. So when I went out, it was two things. I went to start up a recruitment agency. My area is customer service, so I added on training for customer service. And I have to buy and sell. So I went into engine oils, lubricants that I was bringing in from Dubai on very small scale to start with, but it grew, you know. So the multiple streams is also crucial. I mean, because you can do all the analysis and the business plans and feasibility and still start and realize the doing is very different from the planning. you know. So you need to have something that, I would say, have a plan that gives you instant profits, and then medium term, something that will grow over time. If you just go straight into medium term, your start will be very tough. So for me, the buy and sell was to give me instant profits.
Okay.
You just bring the products in, buy, sell, take your profits, move on. And then your agency will take time to grow and build up, even though that's more sustainable long term. Buy and sell is very easy. Entry and exit is very easy. So people can just come in and the market can just plummet and all of that. So it's not business that you do over long term unless you're very well funded. You know, so the structuring of what you do short term to bring you some money and what you do long term is very important. A lot of people don't do that. So whilst you're waiting for the long term to start yielding, that can be very painful and very difficult. If you're not careful, you give up and say entrepreneurship is not for everybody, you know. But do something that immediately, low-hanging fruits, can bring you something to tide you over. It may not be the most glamorous of things, you know, but as long as, for me, as long as it's making you money and it's not killing somebody or selling drugs, it works, you know. I think sometimes to our education, we think, oh, this is below me. I don't want to. Nothing is below anybody. As long as it will pay the bills, it's not below you. So you start with some low-hanging fruits and then build up to what you want to do eventually. Eventually, we went into oil and gas, you know, tried to do a gas project that went very bad.
So I was going to come to the worst encounters, but I mean, that's how many months into it?
Oh, that's years into it.
Oh, that's years into it.
That's about 5 years into it.
Oh, even at that?
Yeah.
You still had that failure coming your way?
Failures have come plenty. Plenty. If you want to go into business, that's the kind of tenacity you need to have. Nothing goes in a straight line. You would have days where you feel badly. Wow. And when I say badly, like bad death, hot kind of badly.
Share with me your bad moments, your worst moments.
Like I'm saying to you, we went into a gas project to do infrastructure. We started off selling LPG. I have a partner, a business partner. So we went in. We're actually sending products to Niger and so on, LPG. And then we looked at the terrain. The challenge at the time in Ghana was infrastructure. Okay. There was only Tema Ports that was receiving LPG. So you could bring in products and stay in the port for days trying to offload. Yeah. So we said, okay, then this is a loophole. Let's go into infrastructure. So it's a whole, so we have to have the whole day to talk about this. Getting land, we paid 3 times for the land. Then start the project, banks supporting.
You had funding from banks
as
well?
Yes, I mean, that was a multi-million-dollar project. We couldn't do it ourselves. Of course, we put in equity. We had other partners come in. I mean, and then one day we were trying to lay our pipelines underwater. The pipes broke and sank. And that was the end of it. That was our downfall. I mean, we never recovered from that project. Really? Yeah. And all sorts of issues that have spiraled out of that. But you can't say you have failed, so you will go to sleep and cry. You will cry a bit, dust yourself up, and find a way to start again. I mean, that's an entrepreneur. You have to have that inner tenacity that says that, okay, I have failed, but that is only one bit of me. Yeah. I have to think again, get up, think again, and see where I can pick up and hopefully recover enough to cover what I have lost. You know, and to be able to do that, you need to build that inner strength. And it's very crucial for business. So
it doesn't just happen. How do you deal with fear and doubt, especially beginning a company where you feel there's so much you can offer to this, but you don't know what is on the other side? How do you deal with that?
There's only one way to deal with it, and it is to get up and do it.
You still have to.
You still have to do it. I'm surprised when people seem to think that you have to have all your ducks lined up and everything before something will succeed. If you're an entrepreneur, you take risks. Every day you have to take a risk. I mean, if you're waiting till the opportunity has bloomed, you miss out. Okay, I mean, the typical example is when the COVID came and nose masks, and you know, those who waited till the end to now go and bring in nose masks and beggars, you know. But people saw, you have to see ahead and plan. it could have gone any way. It would have been possible that the mask would come in and nobody wants it. But people would invest ahead. It's a risk you take. The fear is there, but do it anyway. Overcome the fear. I mean, and for me, that's where sometimes faith comes in. Your faith, whichever faith you align with, whether it's Muslim or Christianity or whatever, it gives you a certain boost outside of yourself, some metaphysical strength that you cannot find in yourself. So you will pray that fear out, but some people will still pray and still be afraid and not do anything. You still have to take a risk and launch out there. Have it in your mind that it can go either way, positive or negative. If you are too optimistic and it fails, you will die. And you are too pessimistic, you will never move. So have the balance and take a step in faith, leap of faith, and do it. Of course, make sure that you have done all the preliminary feasibility and mitigate the risk as much as possible. But there can never be zero risk. I mean, we are sitting here and bondholders are crying. It was supposed to be zero risk, you know, but now there's no zero risk, even in government bonds. So nothing is risk-free. You just have to take a risk.
So how many businesses do you own now? I mean, you left the banking job and now you have how many things you're doing now?
Currently, I'm very involved with 2 projects.
Okay.
This is my baby. This started during COVID. COVID, we were supposed to be home. And that's how an entrepreneur thinks. I mean, I read or I heard that in COVID, some people will do well, some people will fail, will struggle. You know, I told myself I'm not going to be in the struggle part, which meant that I had to think what would do well in an area of COVID, during COVID, for example. What are the industries, areas that would be able to stand during the terrain? Some industries were going to be able to stand because if they align with the times, it will work. So I had always wanted to do teas and local teas, something authentic to Africa. So it was a good time. I had done a lot of research on hibiscus and the potency of our herbs. And I knew it would help in time of COVID because people were going to be home. The infections were rife. You know, so if you have a product that is filled with antioxidants, that ginger has zinc, that will help the body. I mean, people were home, they were going to put on weight. So I needed to do some tea that they can drink so that it gives them a good way to flush out the fat and all of that. If I can come up with something like that, then I'll do well during the COVID. So that's how this was born. And started with less than 1,000 cedis in my kitchen. Yes, because the sobolo leaves were in the market. You know, it just required, I'm a marketing person, so branding was crucial for me. I knew it would make a huge difference in terms of pricing. So I went full stream into that, you know. And so COVID has been almost 3 years. And now we're doing about 500,000 a year in sales.
Really?
Very basic. My staff are just 5. Yes, but we're doing well. So
and they all operate from an office space, or you?
No, now we have a factory.
Okay.
So we actually have machines that bag the teas, and then we pack them and sell. Mostly online references. We haven't done any major promotions yet. We're doing a lot of export as well. Not export in official terms, but Ghanaians living abroad who keep ordering, and then we send to them. Because it's very potent, it's very helpful. We think it's medicine, it's not just tea, even though it's very delicious. So that's the baby I'm working on. But I also have a partner I mentioned. We are into Education 4.0, digital education for schools.
Okay.
And then we're in a project that's called Skills for Jobs, where we are training young people that are out of school. We have a partnership with India to train, and then we give them jobs. So they become their own entrepreneurs, basically. And we're training hundreds and thousands of people. That is opening next month. But we've started the digital project for schools. The company is called Coral Reef. So that also takes a bit of my time as well. And I'm in school doing my PhD, so my time.
Man, you've got the world around you.
No. I need sleep.
I know. Almost every bit of your time right now. Now, how is your normal daily life like? You seem to have almost...
I'm up usually by 2 a.m. That's when my day starts. So I would wake up, I'll do my morning prayer, I'll work out. Don't look at me like that, like, why haven't you lost weight with all that workout? But I don't work out really to lose weight. It helps with my mental strength. Okay. So I do that to energize myself for the day. And then my day starts. So it's a combination of running this, doing schoolwork, working Coral Reef, until about 6. Then my day ends. So usually by 7 I'm asleep.
Oh, is it?
Yes, because if I have to wake up at 2.
You go early.
Yes, I go early.
So you wake up early.
Yes. So
I see, now I understand why your past weekend was full of party. But if you just join us here on the show, Mrs. Boima Intimidate is my guest here on the show, Women in Business. And we're taking a look at her journey so far, what she's been able to do for herself, and the motivation that this will make for you watching us this morning. If you've been wanting to start that business, so all this while you've been postponing it. Well, she left a 10-year job that was giving her money, and she was doing well, by the way, to start something for herself, and she's never looked back. I don't know what your story looks like, but you can send us your messages. If you have any question you want to ask her, you can send it on our WhatsApp line. It's very active. If you go on our social media page, you can send your messages out there as well, and we're going to take a look at them. We're still inviting you to join us, of course, with the Valentine's promotion that is ongoing. You can send your pictures to us, your partner and yourself. You can just take a picture and then send it to us. We'll put it on a social media page. You let your fans out there or friends and family go and like and comment, and you might just end up being one of the winners that will be experiencing all those beautiful moments. We've got a spa treatment. We've also got a dinner for 2. We have the hotel that would keep your weekend stay quite a memorable one, and so make sure that you're also part of it and enjoy the very best of it. Well, I'm still here with Mrs. Boima, and we're having a very, beautiful conversation. I like the fact that, right from the onset, you envisioned how things will probably look like and how you want to, beyond all the difficulties, still stay on top and make sure you're doing what you're doing. Does being a woman, in all the fields that you've mentioned, sometimes go to your advantage or disadvantage, personally? Okay,
I don't think business is really gender sensitive. The kind of problems that the men face, the women face. For me personally, I haven't had issues because I am a woman. I think sometimes we overthink it. Yeah. Because staff are staff, human beings are human beings. I mean, they would give you, the same attitudes and struggles that every employee would give. I mean, you find a few chauvinistic men here and there who want to, but I mean, they are few and far between. So I think on that score, there's really no difference. But I think as women, we are very strong. And I think it's an advantage. I have a partner who is a male in one of the businesses I am in. Okay. And, sometimes it gets very difficult. And the strength of the woman comes to bear. I mean, because I would cry a bit, but I'm up thinking about my next move the next minute. I mean, women can also do so many things at the same time. So my mind is all, and I think women are very creative. I'm not being prejudiced, but
we accept it. We're fine.
If you break it to the fine details, even the how you keep a home, making sure the meals are not one way. Yeah, it's an act of creativity. Yeah, we have to keep thinking and keep planning and making sure. So I think that is a strength for us in business. The example with my teas, I mean, I'm creating something. We have 10 variants now. Oh, okay. I'm creating something every day. I have one that we call roots hibiscus roots, and it's for men. It's an aphrodisiac. Oh. And in my mind, not every man wants to put alcohol on their roots and drink because they're staying away from alcohol. So why don't we make it healthy? So then we get all the work done and create the roots. I brought one. I'll give it to you.
Do you have one for pot belly?
Yes, we have the center.
I think I'm becoming a rich man without me even knowing that. So I need to reduce this pot belly. No.
And so the creativity as a woman comes through. Okay, and that for me, I think is a strength.
Yeah.
I think if we can get out of the rut of thinking that women need some special privileges to do well, it's just an issue of the culture and mindsets, and us breaking out of those mindsets and saying that we can also do what the men can do.
Yeah.
In the boardrooms, it's been a challenge because typically the woman is expected to keep the home, and the decision as to who gets to work longer always favors the men, because they will tell you in the Akan language that the chicken follow their mother around, they don't follow the father. You know, so we get disadvantaged a bit because when it comes to cutting time to be with the children and all of that, it falls on us. So then our careers get a bit truncated, pregnancies in between, and so on. That I think is a disadvantage for us as women. To be honest, I haven't experienced it because my mindset is very
wide.
Exactly. I mean, when I was in the bank and I was having my children, I drive myself to the hospital to have a baby.
Wow.
Yes, I go to work 9 months and then I go to the hospital myself and have the baby and come back.
One.
And come, because I mean, I kept telling myself pregnancy is not a sickness. And I won't let the men take advantage that I'm pregnant and I can't work. You know, and I think God was also good because I had the strength to do
carry on with that.
Yes, but those pauses in between kind of affect women on the corporate ladder. But when we come to the entrepreneurship space, nothing stops us. Because, I mean, it's the best place to be when you are a woman and you are pregnant. You work on your terms. Okay, so it's fantastic. And I think we should promote a lot of women going into businesses that they can run themselves, so that they dictate their pace of growth and not be hindered because they have to close early to go take care of children and so on, which then, you know, truncates the growth spurt. So I think for me, those are the advantages and the disadvantages of being a woman. But I think if you put them on a scale, being a woman is great.
Fantastic. Listening to you, it looks like Mr. Denchi doesn't have a problem at all.
My husband is Mr. Intim.
Mr. Intim.
Denchi is my maiden name.
Oh, so you added that one to it?
No, I didn't. I think on social media.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah, but
so it's Mrs. Intim.
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
How is he helping in all this? It looks like he doesn't have to worry about you at all. You're like 1 woman thousand.
Not at all. I mean, he's very supportive. My husband he's quite risk averse because he's an IT person. So,
home of risk.
Yes. So sometimes I'm sure if he gets a cane, he'll beat me because I sometimes even do the things I want to do before I share the full details.
Oh, okay.
Because I'll get all the reasons why it's not going to work.
Okay.
Because he's very risk averse.
Yeah.
But once he gets buy-in and he understands and he allows me to be me. And I think that is the best support anybody can get, where you are not being restricted in terms of what you can do and what you cannot do. I think I'm also very pragmatic when it comes to assessing what is possible and what is not. I mean, if I am not able to clean the house, I should be able to get somebody to help me clean. I'm not going to be superwoman and get, all that he is concerned about is that the house has to be clean. As to who does it is not the issue in question. Okay, so I think as women, we also should be creative in the way we take on tasks that hinder us from running businesses. Okay, so we get the work done. And for me, that's the kind of support I get. He allows me to be able to use other people to do stuff in the house. I mean, he's not the kind of man who will say, I don't need food in the fridge and things. No. Anything is available, he will eat. And I think that's very good support. So in that way, I think he's been very supportive. I also have a network of very good, I mentor a lot of young people and they've almost become family. Okay. You know, so that is also a good support system. They're always around to help. Yes. So I get people, taking care of their children for me when they need to, running around for me and all of that, because I also give back in terms of my mentoring for them. So it's important that you build a support system. I mean, if you don't, you will wear thin and you will struggle and you will think the whole world is against you because you try to be a superwoman. Just understand what your strength can do and cut off when you cannot. When I'm tired and I have to sleep, I'll stop everything and sleep. I mean, nobody will die.
Absolutely.
So,
What sets you apart from the others? I mean, the others who have also done same. They are also trying to lead the same path. But what sets you apart from them?
That's quite a difficult question to ask. I'm not sure I'm the best in the game, really, but I think everybody and the strengths they have. For me, my strength really is in innovation and creativity. I can think of something, and I think beyond that, also the courage to dare. I mean, I can think something, and in a week, you will see the thing happening.
Oh.
Yes, that's typically me. It has its downsides. Sometimes I don't take my time and I just crash.
The trouble start looming.
Exactly. But I know a lot of people who can think of so many things but will never do it. And then 2 years down the line, they see it done and they are like, I thought about this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's the ability to not just dream it, but also get it done. Okay, so, and I'm very creative. I mean, in terms of everything, the packaging of my products, what goes into it, the marketing, everything. You have to be thinking and create something that is different. And I think that sets me apart. And that's why my doctorate is also in innovation. So
Yeah. Great stuff. We're just about wrapping up, but I've had a really good time speaking with Mrs. Ntim and, well, sharing all of that with us over here. Now, she's got the products over here on the table. So before we go, how do people get to have this? Where can they, check on you on social media too as well?
I think we're on Instagram. I'm not a very good social media person. We're on Instagram, NutriHealthGH. They can also call. I actually wrote the number down.
Yes, please mention it for them.
025-685-4460. 025-685-4460. And we'll deliver. But we are also in some Total shops. We are in farmers markets. We're even in Keda, just down the road from here.
Okay.
Health shop. So we are trying to grow in branches. But if you call this number, we'll deliver to you everywhere in Ghana. Yes.
This entire process is to make you believe in your dreams, is to make you also start something no matter the fears that you go through. And she's been sharing her story with us. And so I'm sure you've learned so much from this. And I would like to say a big thank you to you for coming and sharing this with us. I'm sure a lot of women are inspired by what you've shared with us this morning. Some have been wanting to do this for in the past 10 years. They'll keep saying, I'm going to do it, and they're not able to. Some even think that the moment you start, it becomes, successful, but they don't know that there are processes and there are, a lot of things that actually go into it. So
and I think my final thing don't wait to start big. Start small. Anything you plan to do, just start small and build it up. If you have the resources to start big, why not?
Yeah.
But if not, don't let the finances hinder you. Sometimes it's not the money, it's the ideas. Once you have a good idea, once you can sell that idea, you would get help. So let's women get up and start doing something.
All right. So on that note, we would like to say a big thank you to the CEO of NutriHealth Foods and Beverages, Boyema Ntim Denchi.
Boyema Ntim.
Hey, Boyema Ntim. All right. So I don't know why I like the Denchi. It's a nice name. That's your family name, right?
Yes.
Hey, and now they're called how are you? Anyway, I mean, guys, starting a business can always be very difficult, but once you, set yourself that this is what I want to do, you definitely want to make sure you keep yourself going. And trust me, it might be difficult, it might be, daunting, it might be stressful and everything, but trust me, you can always make it, especially our beautiful women out there. Start your dream, make it happen, and you're definitely going to be okay. Once again, we've got some more conversations coming up here on the show, but I still want to remind you that the Valentine promotion is ongoing. Please send your entries, and we'd like to say a big thank you to our sponsors, Maate Spa. We say we're grateful, and also going out to La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. We're grateful for the love and support, and also to the world in Akosombo, Volta Hotel in Akosombo. We're grateful for all the beautiful, beautiful memories you keep sharing, and we can't wait to be there. All right, so guys, keep it coming. Make sure that you take be very creative about it. No doubt about that, okay? And we see you. easy. Amen. It's making it very simple for you to actually get that hamper and make sure that you spread that love out there. We'll still have some more. Rosalind Felly, the birthday girl, has finally arrived. Now, she's got a very important conversation that is coming up, and it has to do with our space of work. And if you're an HR person, if you're someone who is training somebody to become successful in every space that the person finds themselves, this is the conversation for you. Please do stay.